So let me talk about this different world. To be around people who are very interesting and very exciting. But sometimes, when we get into things that are exciting, is usually when we're exploring the unknown. That's what makes things exciting, exploring the unknown. I made a video called Exploring the Unknown or something like that. And I think it got like 16 views. And I thought it was a great video. But I think sometimes it's just, and I'm going to say this, I'm just going to try to make this video 5 minutes long. And that's it. And even if it's incoherent, I'm just going to let it be that way. Because I actually don't script out what I'm going to say. But it's basically, the thing is, I think people are afraid of things that are unfamiliar to them. They're so scared. Because, when you're dealing with things that are familiar, it's very comfortable. It's comfortable to get up in the morning, to go to work, to know how your job is, even if it's a boring job. Even if it's dull and uninteresting. You don't want to take too many chances. You don't want to take risks. You don't want to try a different approach to a problem. You don't want to try a different approach to dealing with people. You want to stick to what you are familiar with, even if it doesn't work. Sometimes, it's like I'll be in a car with people who blow the horn all the time. Somebody cuts in front of them, beep, 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 beep. They never think to try a different approach, to be relaxed, to be calm, to, as one person says, send out love. That ideal seems, totally nuts to some people. Because it's different. It's not what you're used to. It's not what you're familiar with. If something is not familiar, the first tendency is to laugh at it, to ridicule it, to call it crazy, to see it as dangerous, and everything else. And sometimes things that are different and new aren't dangerous. In fact, sometimes it could be the opposite of dangerous. Something that could save you. A different approach, a different way of dealing with something. It could be the solution to a problem. Thinking about something completely new and different. But what happens is you get people who are too afraid to try anything different, anything new. I'm always trying something new and different and experimenting with different ideals and different approaches to stuff. And if I have more money and equipment one day, I could actually do more things with these videos. But with the limited amount of stuff I do, I make the most out of it. It's just like my paintings, my rock paintings. You have a limited number of colors, but you can draw an infinite number of things. You can make an infinite number of paintings. Infinite topics and things and subjects you can paint. There's an infinity even in a limitation. That sounds like a contradiction, but it's true. There are infinite number of ways of putting things together. And some people don't like to do that. They like to stick to the same patterns. Familiar patterns are comfortable. And comfortable sometimes seems right. Things that are uncomfortable seem wrong. Usually we even judge things to be right or wrong based on what feels comfortable. We may say, well, that doesn't feel right. Something seems wrong about it. It seems wrong because it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable because it's not familiar. It's not where you know what's going to happen next. Think of the most exciting times you ever had in life. Those were times when you didn't know what was going to happen. And you really had to think. That's when you had to use your brain. That's when you really had to think. Those times when something happened and you really had to think on your feet. You had to make adjustments like that. If something changed and shifted, you have to adjust. But if you get to the point where everything is the same stuff and you know what's going to happen and you know from the beginning of the day to the end of the day, you don't have to make very many adjustments. You can even force other people to make adjustments. Well, I'm not going to change. He has to change. I'm not going to change what I'm doing. That person has to change. Yeah, they have to adjust to me. I don't have to adjust to them. But I like situations when I get into something completely new, something different, a whole new way of looking at things, a whole new perspective on life. That's what makes life interesting, to be open to things, to think, to use your mind, do things differently, think, and be creative.